Hello, this is Joe Novickus. I'm going to go over a FIFO example on how we handle inventory. We have our inventory events that occurred during the month here on the left, and we're going to then calculate our inventory register here on the right first. Then we're going to calculate sales, COGS, our gross margin, and then our ending inventory balance. So we're starting off the month with 1,000 units in finished goods at a cost of $3 per unit. On the 4th, we're transferring in, and when we transfer in, we're transferring in 1,000 units. I'm sorry, we're transferring 800 units at $3.10 per unit. So what we do here in our inventory register, we always write the first inventory that gets transferred in at the top. And then we're going to add in anything that gets transferred in below. So now on the 6th, we're selling 500 of the units. And so if we look here, we have first in, first out. So our oldest inventory, the 1,003 is what we started the month with. That's going to be the inventory that we're selling. So we're selling 500 of those 1,000 units at $3 per unit. So therefore, we're going to be left with 500 units at $3 per unit, and then there's the 800 units at $3.10. On 1/8, we're going to sell 800 units, but now if we look over here, we only have 500 left, so we're going to sell all 500 of those units at $3 per unit, and then the other 300 is going to come from the 800 bucket. So we're going to multiply that by 310. So what we're left with then, we're now our inventory that was the newest now becomes the oldest, and we march on. So on the 14th, we transferred some more units in, and so we're going to transfer in 500 at $3.30, and so now we have our 500 at $3.10, and now we have 500 at $3.30. So now on the 16th, we have a sale of 700 units. And so the first 500, since it's FIFO, we're going to pull from our older inventory first. So we're going to sell 500, all 500 of the units assigned to $3.10. And then the other 200 is going to come from the $3.30 bucket. So what we're left with here, we're left with 300 units at $3.30. All right, so once we have that complete, we're now going to calculate what we sold. So right now we sold 500, 1,000, 13, 18. We sold 2,000 units even. So if you see, I'm just adding up the units. 5, 5's 1,000, 13, 18, 2,000. So I sold 2,000 units, and my selling price was given in the problem was $5 a unit. So our total sales is going to come out to $10,000. So for COGS now, we need to kind of calculate all of these here. So we're going to have 1,500 here. I'm just going to kind of stretch the table here so it fits a little bit better. Might look funky here for a second. We'll pull that date column in. Okay. So there's our 1,500, and then 500 times 3 is $1,500, and then 300 times 310. We're going to have to calculate the get out the calculator here to calculate the following one. So I'm just going to fill them in here in a second. So I get 930 there. I get 1,550 here, and then $660 there. So if I add them up, my total cost of goods sold is $6,140. And so what I'm going to do to get my margin, I'm going to take on my calculator the 10,000. I'm going to deduct the cost of goods sold, and I get $3,860 as my gross margin. My ending inventory then is quite simple. It's just this final box here. So this one, the reason why I say it's simple, there's only one thing really to add up there. So my ending inventory is 300 units assigned at $3.30. I get $990 is my ending inventory amount. So that one was, I didn't have a big list of items there to add. So basically that's how you do this. And so if we look here, we have a FIFO example. So we're getting rid of our oldest inventory first as we make a sale. And then we just subtract it from our finished goods warehouse or inventory, whatever you want to call it. And we work our way down to $990 in ending inventory. So that's a quick example on FIFO.